Greetings, and welcome back to the MCOC Encyclopedia. Today, as promised, we'll be going through the path from 6.4.2 that I recommended in my previous video with a team I recommended using. This will allow you to get a little more insight into why I chose this team and how I get around the nodes. This will be much more relaxed, but I still suggest you go and watch that video first if you haven't already, as it contains most of the key information around this quest. And with that, let's jump in. So, here we are in 6.4.2, and we will be taking the Invisible Woman path. A nice, unnecessary amount of energy to get it started, but we've arrived. The team today is 565 Mags, 565 Archangel, 565 Venom, 6-star rank 3 Baron Zemo, and 6-star rank 4 Hulkling. Apologies for the slight overrank there. First fight on the path, we'll be dealing with Invisible Woman, and you can see Baron Zemo is just cleansing those debuffs straight off him. Got her rooted already, because once he runs out of cleanse charges he roots the opponent, and every single hit, into the block or not, whilst they're rooted, places a permanent bleed on the opponent. So here you can see she's got 8 bleeds and is ticking for 344. Not the most, but if I'd used a special one we could have stacked on even more bleeds, but there's not a huge amount of need. Waiting for her shield to come back now, because her shield means debuffs. Here it is, and we can see the bleeds are already ticking it down. But there we go, we've already dropped 4, and there we go, straight into the root. I should have thrown special 1 there, instead we go for special 2, and guess what? Another round of root, which means another round of bleeds. So we're up to 21 bleeds now. I've got to be very careful not to push her to special 3. While she's rooted, she can't throw specials, but she can still gain power. She's up to 21 bleeds, as I said, so that's 902 damage per second, and in that entire fight, she threw 3 special attacks. So Typhoon, that requires us to get to 10, irrelevant. Up next we have Psylocke, and for this fight I will be using Venom. This is a mistake. Venom is power drain immune only to tech champions while he has his Clintar buff. That's not going anywhere in this quest, so just against tech champions. Why am I showing it to you here? Well, firstly to keep me talking during this really long loading screen, but more importantly to show, and I will show it again later down the path, that you can do this path with anyone. Venom is going to be having his power drained throughout this fight, which is something I need to sort of bear in mind, but that's not a huge issue. As long as we can get this Psylocke down before she throws 10 special attacks, which, looking at her health and her power, we're on rough track to do, this fight should go absolutely fine. The buff RNG so far has been not great, if we're being honest, but we can re-roll that armour into a Fury, so that is good. Maybe I should be pushing for a special 2 here, but I go for the special 1 instead. She's down to about 2/3 health and is throwing her 3rd special attack, so we're looking good. My goal in this fight is just to keep the damage coming. Venom's bleeds are doing a lot of work, and if I had the Venom relic on Venom, he would be going absolutely ballistic, as that gives additional bleed potency for each unique buff on me. So at the moment that's 5. The Clintar buff, the armour, the cruelties, the physical resistances, and the Furies. And occasionally we get the crit as well from Dex. So that would be massively increasing the bleed potency. They're still not bad, anyway. We close out that fight nice and easily. She only threw 5 special attacks in the whole thing. So again, Typhoon, absolutely nothing. Up next, I think we have Punisher 2099. We do. And this fight I will be using Hulkling. Apologies again for the slight overrank, but I don't have them available as a 5-star to show you. Oh, no, we're going in with Venom. Oh, brilliant. Okay, Venom in this fight will work. He is power drain immune from tech champions, so we can really go in and use Venom to his full potential, potentially considering his special 2 where required. I do apologise for the loading screens on this recording. The app was not having it today, but I have asked in the past whether I should keep the loading screens in or cut them out, and people said it was good to see it all in one clip, so it stays as one clip. The buff RNG at the start of this fight, much better than before. 1 precision and 3 cruelties. Would have liked it to be the other way around, but you get what you get. Get clipped right at the end of that special attack, but note that I was not power drained at all. Armour is okay, but not great, and in fact we're going to roll that off, and we get another precision. Excellent. All we need now is a couple of Furies, and we have a pretty much perfect lineup. Another cruelty, but you take what you can get. Just trying to get the special 1 out of Punisher, but eventually I give up. The special 2 inflicts a lot more block damage, and that's something I want to consider. Now I just need to get Advin. That armour will at least help with some of that block damage. Come on, Punisher. Special 2, please. Special 2, please. Special 2, please. This isn't the worst thing to be happening. Nothing in this fight is going badly at this moment. All I'm doing is ramping up my buffs, which are at full at the moment. Oh, there it comes. But he's draining his battery. He's now got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 left, and that's it. He's finished. So now he has to ramp up again before he gets his additional damage. Managed to roll off that armour, but guess what? We get another cruelty. Get absolutely nicked by the end of that special 1. Still something I struggle with is Punisher's special 1. Who would have thought? 1, 2, 3. He triggers his regen, but we can outdamage it, and with a little bit of help from the Despair Mastery there as well. Big roar from Venom. And then we'll be moving on to our next fight. Who have we got next? Up next we have Shehulk. And to be honest, I can't remember who I used for this one. So, for this fight, we are choosing Baron Zemo. This is to show, again, that you can do this quest with anyone. There are very few champions that are, power drain immune or resistant to this node in some way. So I want to say that it can, in fact, be done with anyone. This is a 6-star rank 3 Zemo, and Shehulk is not bleed immune, so we'll be trying to go for our rotation, which is special 2 into special 1. I don't think we'll be able to do it, and in fact, I've made the video, so I know that we won't be able to do it properly. To get to really high power, well, what you want with Zemo is for you to be at 2.9 bars of power, and for them to be at 0. But that can't happen, because as soon as she throws a special attack, mine gets drained. So the best I might be able to manage is to just throw a special 2 as soon as I get it. That will root her on the last hit, allowing for me to go in and get my bleeds off. And here we go. No, I'm going to let her throw it. Not sure what past tense me was thinking. Oh well. So we're trying to bait the special 2 out of her now. That grey passive underneath Shehulk is Force of Will coming into action. Not something that we should forget, but for the most part doesn't really come into it. If I'd, for example, wanted to use Mags or Archangel on this path with their ability accuracy reduction, wouldn't be able to do it. So we get her rooted and we go in for some hits, just trying to get a couple of those permanent bleeds stacked up. You can keep your combos going. You've got to be really careful not to push her to special 3. So now we're just going to let the bleeds do their work. It's not the fastest process, and we will sort of obviously keep hitting her as required, but those bleeds will tick forever. And there she goes. Shehulk is a hero champion, so Baron Zemo does gain additional bonuses against her, including the ability to crit through block. Very nice. Loading. There we go. Up next, we have Iron Patriot, and I believe for this fight I will in fact be using Hulkling. Do we use Hulkling for this path at all? Anyway, Venom going in again. Another tech champion, so we don't have to worry about power drain, and we have some very nice buffs to start us off. My Venom is a little bit low, so I'm looking at that Iron Patriot thinking, I can use your armor buff to heal me up where required. I've missed out on the first one, but that's no big deal. I'm sure it'll be coming back sooner or later. Continuing the good RNG on the buffs, we're now up to 3 Furies and 1 Cruelty. The physical resistance, it is what it is, but hopefully we can roll that off. What do we end up with? Another physical resistance? If there was a small change I would make to Venom, it's if you throw a heavy attack, you shouldn't be able to gain the buff you just removed. Small change, but I think it'd be really nice. We're up to 3 Typhoon charges, but I'm not hugely concerned about that, as he's down to 40% health. There's an armor up buff, so I want that for some healing. Not on the first hit, we get it on the second hit, and heal for a nice 1600. Really nice. Iron Patriot at low health, we've got to watch out for that awakened ability, so he's going to be gaining his power gain, his regen, and his armor, but we steal the regen, don't quite get the armor, and he's dead before the power gain really comes into effect. A very clean fight. Up next we have Nightthraser, and I'm just going to say we're going to use Hulkling here, and then probably find out that I'm wrong. For this Nightthraser, we're going to be using Hulkling. Apologies for the slight overrank, but you'll see in this fight, it doesn't matter a huge amount. Using a 6-star rank 3 with boosts, as this fight is not boosted in the slightest, will get you a similar result, and 6-2 with lots of boosts will get you a similar result to that, probably not quite as much. We're going for our standard Hulkling rotation, build his 3 buffs, that's the Aptitude in yellow, the Pierce in purple, and the Bulwark that we haven't got yet, but that'll be in green. Build the special 2, go unblockable, throw it for big damage. There we go, we're going to get the Bulwark buff. There it is, there's the Bulwark in green on the far right of my buffs. Go unblockable, 1, 2, 3, 4, No crits, unfortunately, which is a little annoying, but we've got our 2 big Furies now. But we lose out a bit of time on those because that Nightthraser special 1 is really, really long. Okay, so if using a 6-2 here, you would just build and throw the special 2 again. We were very nearly at it already, but because unfortunately I'm slightly overranked, we can close out the fight very quickly. I'm loving these massively long loading screens. I can't remember what was happening on this day. Maybe it was update day. Come on, there we go. Up next, we have Deadpool, X-Force. Wonder who we'll be using for him. Is it going to be Hulkling again? Is it? We're thinking about it. Yes, it is. At this point in the path, I just want to close it down quickly. You've seen enough fights to understand what's going on, because there isn't much going on. So we're going to use the overranked champion to just close out the fights even faster, even though the loading screen we're sitting through here is probably longer than the fight itself. What do we have to worry about in Deadpool X-Force? Well, his special 2 is quite annoying to Dex, and he can trigger taunts on you, which will reduce your damage output. A nice form of willpower healing, though, if you're running that. So, fairly standard Hulkling. As I said, we gain our 3 buffs where we can, because Hulkling also gains additional attack for each buff on him. This is why he goes extra hard with the Odin buffs, because each buff, regardless of what it does, is just extra damage. Trying to get that special 1 out of Deadpool X-Force, and there he goes, he throws it. I'm in a really nice position. Intimidate him, so he backs up, but of course Intimidate sort of doesn't do that. 4 aptitudes, unblockable, special 2, 1 crit. He's almost down. Again, if you're running a lower ranked 1, build up a second special 2, you'd be absolutely fine. Hulkling is an absolute beast. The final fight on the path, I believe, if we'll move, please, there we go, is Dr. Octopus. I've never liked fighting Dr. Octopus, but never mind. He is tech, so I believe we're going in with Venom. There we go. But one of the other reasons I chose Venom here is because Dr. Octopus has a fairly constantly recurring armor buff that he gains whenever he gains to 100 biology charges, I believe. Those are the green ones. You can see it there. And I can use that for Venom food. Extra healing, extra buffs. Job's a good one. It's fallen off, but never mind. It appears Dr. Octopus here also has heavy hitter, which I might have forgotten to mention in the main video, which means both of our heavy attacks will be doing extra damage, but his will allow him to go unstoppable. Not a huge deal, and there's the armor buff back again, because I believe he only throws 1 heavy attack in the entire fight, but just something to bear in mind. If I wanted to use my own heavy attacks here for boosted damage, I could. I think I've got the right node. Oh no, there's a second one. Trying to get special 1 out of him, because I don't particularly like Dr. Octopus' special 2. Sometimes I just find myself getting clipped on it, and honestly, I don't know if it's just me, but I find Dr. Octopus' animations a bit all over the place, and sometimes it can be very difficult to bait out specials, or just generally get him to do what you want to do. Luckily so far, he's been very nice on throwing those special ones for us. There comes another one. He's up to 7. So it's possible we will have to consider Typhoon in this fight. There's 8. And maybe I should be pushing him to special 2s more, so I don't have to worry about those special 1s. But he is throwing them very, very heavily. The question arises, though, and think for yourself before you see it, do I have to worry about Typhoon with this Venom? And the answer there is no. As you saw pop up on the left, immune. Typhoon drains all of your power. Well, it's technically a power burn, so all of your power is removed, and you take direct damage proportional to that. However, Venom is immune to that from tech champions. So, there is effectively no nodes on this fight. We have Force of Will, which Venom can't do anything about. I am running the Assassin's Mastery, but that's only at 18% or below, and it doesn't matter too much. We have Typhoon, which we can't do anything about, or Dr. Octopus can't do anything about. And then we have Static Blast, which Dr. Octopus can't do anything about. Effectively, no nodes on that fight for Venom. It's just a big Dr. Octopus. And now for the boss, Thor Ragnarok's. And as always, this fight isn't going to go as I planned it. Use the champion swapper if you need it, bring in your boss counter right at the end, the full health, and be good to go. We'll be going in with Magneto. As I said, this fight doesn't go to plan, and you can actually do it significantly smoother than what I'm about to show. But what is our plan for this fight? Well, it's Mags, so as pretty much always, we're going to parry heavy our way to a special 3, and hopefully one-tap them with said special 3. And, so far, so good. He's got Prove Yourself, which means I need to get 15 hits on my combo meter before I do any damage to him. So that's something to consider, and that's why his health bar isn't going down. Something very important to consider, though. Magneto's ability accuracy reduction is stopping Aspect of Death from triggering. so he's thrown 2 special attacks so far, got the unblockable on both of them, but that is the first time Aspect of Death is triggered. Be super careful while that is up, as it's kind of BS and it'll just kill you instantly, which is rubbish, in my opinion, but never mind. Not particularly skillful node. We're up to 16 hits, so we can finally start dealing some damage to this guy, and those heavies are hitting pretty hard. Long heavy for the prowess, and we just need to get one more special out of him, then I can go for my own. Just need to bait that special too. I've got enough prowesses to one-tap him. Come on, here we go. And here, I think, there, I make a mistake. I got tapped, which means I lost my combo, which means this is going to do absolutely nothing. And you can see here I was slightly shaken by that. But we do what we can. We just got to do it again, effectively. That should have killed him, but effectively we're back at the start of the fight. He's got a bit more power, but I've got a few extra hits on the combo meter. That was a risky play, trying to punish that heavy, because I could have got whomped, which again means my combo would start all over again. At this point, I'm just trying to bait out that special 2. Come on, Thor. Because again, only half as much on the special attacks, which means you end up baiting quite a lot of specials. Particularly that special 2, you'll see quite a lot. Luckily for us, Thor's specials are super easy to deal with. At this point, I'm building power. I can build prowesses very, very quickly, so it's not something I'm hugely concerned about. I just want to get my combo up, which it is, and build back towards a special 3. Another special 2 from Thor. Do be careful to watch out for A, that power gain, and B, losing space in this fight. And there I get tapped again. I throw the special 2, I don't know why, but Thor is now going for his special 3. Luckily for us, for some reason, Thor's special 3 actually has a cap on it, and he should now trigger his Thunder God passive, or whatever it's called, which would be putting shocks on us, basically whenever we make contact, a bit like Nebula. However, ability accuracy reduction coming in clutch again, which means Magneto stopped that from triggering. Would it be a big deal if it did trigger though? Let's think. Well, Mags has 90% shock resistance, so no, against debuffs specifically. So that would have been absolutely fine if he had triggered it, and we probably would have just got some free healing. Maybe not on this lower star Magneto, but if I brought in my big Magneto, the 6-star, we probably would have just got free healing. So, building prowess, building hits, and we will eventually get that special 3 with enough hits on the combo meter. I could have absolutely re-recorded this, but I want to show exactly what happens. The fight has not gone to plan so far. But relax, think, adapt, improvise, overcome. Building prowess, building hits, trying to keep his power down. 30 prowess should be enough for it. I probably could have thrown it here, but I don't want to push him to special 3. But also, there's one other thing. I'll see if you can spot it before it happens. There's one reason I haven't thrown the special 3 yet. There. Did you spot it just before it came through? That heavy triggered his power gain, and that special 3, if it hadn't have just instantly killed him, would have shut down that power gain. Luckily, Magneto hits like an absolute freight train, and if that hadn't have killed him, the bleeds would have absolutely done so. Now, taking the other path I recommended, the Domino path, with some shruggers. The team here is the same 565 Mags and 565 Archangel. We've got 6'3 Moleman, 6'3 Shang-Chi, and when I made the first video, this was 6'3 Omega Sentinel, but she's now 6-star rank 4. So again, slight apologies for that, but you'll see that it doesn't matter a huge amount. She does a very, very good job against Domino. I get quite lucky there that she doesn't evade me, and I think she's about to. There, yep. I get lucky there that she doesn't punish me. Built my third debuff with Omega Sentinel, but they're starting to fall off. Get a heavy to just keep those cowardice in place, and I'm just building to my special 2. Baiting out a Domino special 2 there, and another one's going to fall off, so we'll go for a light ending combo there to pause them, and then I'm going to go for some medium ending combos to apply a few more. Omega Sentinel special 2. Oh, we only have 2 debuffs going, that's fine, so we expect 3 plasmas, and there they are. They're ticking for 1,000 each. If you were better than me and had all 4 of the debuffs up and running, you would have got 3 debuffs up and running, you would have got 4 plasmas, which means you'd be getting exactly the same damage output, pretty much anyway. And at this point, I'm just going to parry heavy where I can to keep them paused, or do light ending combos. But essentially, we can just let her tick down. 1,000 per tick is nothing to sneeze at, and there we go. Absolutely nothing to worry about from Domino there, and long distance relationship not really dealing with us too much. Coming up on the path, I will show one fight with Moleman and one fight with Shang-Chi, but effectively they're all the same. The defenders on this path are super easy and really not something to worry about. If that Punisher does worry you slightly, if that Crossbones does worry you slightly, well, he is both metal, and Archangel does a fantastic job against him, so you can use those champions instead, though we do have them reserved as boss counters. So, first up, go for our cleanse charges, so we get 4, go for a stun, go for a slow, and reset. That's the sort of combo I like to do. I sometimes skip out on the unblockable, it's not always needed. There I just missed a light attack, so no big deal. And actually it would have been better to take this fight with Moleman. Shang-Chi's charges are getting used up whenever Angela, throws her specials, because we get armor broken. However, we get a special intercept there, very nice. Doesn't quite kill, but some really nice damage from Shang-Chi. And we're just going to do that again. This is a 6-3 Shang-Chi, so we most likely won't need to build up properly. If you're using a 6-2 Shang-Chi, 5-star rank 4, build properly, go for another special 2, and you'll be absolutely fine. But we break through there. Absolutely fine, as I think I've already said. Lastly, for the fights I'm going to show, we have Moleman, though of course there is a whole path following on. Moleman has lots of opportunities to shrug off, but once you enter his frenzy mode, he can't shrug off anymore, so you want to make sure you can end the fight pretty quickly. Just waiting for this loading screen against Black Panther. But the plan here, let the debuffs build us, build a special 2, nuke with a special 2. I like to go for 1 heavy at the start there, because what that does is gives me my unstoppables, which means I can sort of get away with doing a few extra things. If my block gets hit, I have that unstoppable to save me. There I go for another heavy, not entirely sure why, but it'll give me much longer duration on my frenzy mode once I get there. So building to our special 2, staying in close to get those debuffs. Once we get to 10 Monster Mash, they'll be shrugged off even faster, as half a second each, so they're really, really nice. There we go, basically instantly gone. I'm just looking to get a blocked hit. Probably the only thing Moleman can heavy counter, his heavy reach is rubbish. Go for a nice big special 2. We've got 1 weakness on us, but it's only 10% weakness, so it's not too bad. There comes a second one. I'm just trying to end this fight pretty quickly. Those bleeds are really nice, so we're going to get a lot of damage out of them. Do I need to build to a second special 2 to end it? Most likely, so that's what we're looking to do. 10 bleeds now, ticking away nicely, keeping those weaknesses down. Big special 2, nearly 10k on the first hit, 10k from Moleman himself, and then 15k to end the fight on a full yellow bar. Really, really nice job from Moleman there. So, that's it. Everything you need to know to beat 6.3.2. Up next, we are focusing heavily on Act 6, and we want to get everyone through the Grandmaster by the end of April. I also have a Discord server, so feel free to join that. It's a great place to ask specific questions, get specific advice, make suggestions on future videos, and while I'm awake, I do my best to be there as much as I can. Thank you, and I will see you next time.